Hi and welcome. Welcome to everybody. Today I am going to talk about goals and what to do when you start to become demotivated. So I was asked this question: how do I stick to my goal? So this person, their goal was to lose weight and to get fit. And they wanted to know how they could keep motivated, because they were telling me that generally what happens to them is that they start off really well, and then about 2 weeks into their journey, then they start to lose focus and momentum, and it becomes difficult, and so they lose their motivation to continue, and quite often they give up. In fact, they said normally they would give up, and then every year or from time to time they would start this journey again where they really wanted to lose weight and get fit. I'm going to go over a few hacks for doing that, not specifically for weight loss and getting fit, because I thought I'd tackle this in a more general way so that it's more useful to people who, whatever the goal may be, they will be able to use the same tips. Before I get started, for those that want more help with goal setting and you want to see what other things that I do offer, you can head to the link, and that will take you to my website, and you'll be able to see my courtesy guides. It's common, regardless of what your goal is, that some people will start to become demotivated when they hit a challenge, when things get hard. That's when you find that you become demotivated. So my answer is a general answer to this goal setting dilemma of how to stop yourself becoming demotivated. After all, the strength does not come from what you do. It comes from what you thought you couldn't do. So the things that you achieve, that's what it comes from, is conquering those things that you never thought you'd be able to do. Motivation is what gets you started. So you're motivated to do something, and that's what gets you started. But it is the habit of doing something repetitively, over and over again, consistently, that keeps you going. So you have to keep going with whatever the habit is that you're trying to form, and that will help you to conquer your goal and actually hit your goal. So when motivation starts to desert you, you should revisit your why, the reason why, and that is why I say that you should have a very strong why. It should be a very emotive why. It should be very deep. It should be very compelling. A really good reason as to why you want to achieve that goal. So always revisit your why, because that should help you with your motivation. Next, I would suggest that you focus on discipline, not motivation. Discipline comes from a consistent habit. So make sure your tasks are small steps. Make sure that you take these steps even if you don't feel like it, because unless you do, it won't become a habit, and therefore when motivation starts to fail you, you won't have anything to help you move yourself forward. Make sure you have simplified your tasks for your goal, so they don't become daunting. So you don't want the tasks to achieve your goal to feel really daunting, heavy, hard work, because that is going to suck all your motivation out of really achieving this goal. Instead of saying something like, I'm going to walk 1 hour a day, say that you're going to walk for 20 minutes, because invariably you will walk more than 20 minutes. If you have time, you will walk more than 20 minutes. You'll start to enjoy yourself, and you'll start to like the environment. So you'll do a little bit more than 20 minutes. And this will give you a big high, because not only have you completed that walk for 20 minutes, If you do more than that, it makes you feel such a buzz. So that's another tip that I have for you. Now, there is a thing called overwhelm, and overwhelm will kill your motivation. So focus on one small task at a time. Don't try and take on too much at a time. And an example of this is if you have to write a report. So say you've been asked to write a report and you're feeling demotivated by the whole thought of writing this report. I know how you feel. Just say to yourself, right, I'm going to get started and I'm going to write just 15 minutes, or I'm just going to write one paragraph. And you will be surprised again how much you do once you get started. It's just the starting. When you feel that, I'm not really in the mood for this is hard work, then it demotivates you and you'll try and think of other things to do instead. So make the tasks small. Sometimes changing your environment will help your motivation. So what I mean by that, if you normally work from home, then going and working at a different place in your home. So you might work at in your bedroom, for instance, or the dining room. If you then change that and decide, I'm going to work from the kitchen today, sometimes that will help your motivation. Or take yourself from home and go and work in a cafe instead. Or choose a completely different workspace. But quite often that helps with your motivation. If you find that you are starting to find other things to do rather than get on with something you need to do for your goal. A new space can inspire, refresh, and generate new energy and focus. It is quite often a good idea with goals to get yourself an accountability partner. So you would find someone who has a goal. It doesn't have to be the same goal as you, and share your goal with them and they share their goal with you, and you agree to check in with each other on a weekly basis. Now, I'm just saying weekly. You can choose however much time span you want, but weekly is really good. If you're going to choose like a monthly, there is too much time there for you to not do what you're supposed to be doing because you think, oh, well, I don't have to check in for a while. So a weekly basis is a really good time frame. External accountability can really drive your motivation because you have got to tell your accountability partner what you've been doing. Have you achieved what you said you were going to achieve? Another good one for increasing your motivation, and a lot of people do this when they go to the gym. I do it when I go to the gym actually, or when I go running, is to listen to energizing music. So that helps to increase your motivation to continue with your goal. This can enhance your mood and your focus. Now, the one thing that you really need to do when you're on your goal journey is to practice self-compassion. And what I mean by that is be kind to yourself. Allow yourself to make mistakes. Don't chastise yourself. Don't tell yourself that you're rubbish, because remember, the brain doesn't know the difference between the truth and a lie. So if you tell your brain something, it is going to believe it. Never say negative things about yourself. Making mistakes is part of the process. This is how we learn. We learn by making mistakes. And then we reevaluate, assess what we've done wrong, and then put ourselves back on a better track. Focus on progress, not perfection. You don't have to be perfect when you're doing this goal. In fact, it's better if you're not perfect, or don't think of yourself as perfect. When things go wrong, just pick yourself up, dust yourself down, and start again. With goal setting, you should adopt a growth mindset. Think that you can do something rather than telling yourself you can't or thinking that you can't. Okay? You can. You can. Because there is a saying, if you think you can't, you can't. But if you think you can, you can. So tell yourself that you can achieve this. Challenges are good for us. They enable us to grow. Having a challenge enables us to grow. We're never going to grow in ourselves if everything we do is easy. There's no challenge there. There's nothing for us to learn. So a challenge is really, really good for us. It enables us to grow. So change, I can't. That narrative that you have, I can't. Change that to, how can I do that? Then go and do it. While you're going through your goal journey, I do recommend that you do a review and reflect process. So the review and the reflect process is that at the end of each week, assess your progress and adjust your strategy so that you concentrate on the things that are working for you. And if something hasn't worked and you think it should work, then assess how you can change that so it does work. And keep on going until you hit that goal. I believe in you. You believe in you. So, hey, just do it.